Hello everyone. Welcome to Tarot by Cecilia on Patreon and now Facebook members only. This is your tarot guidance for the Sun in Aries and the Vernal Equinox on March 20th, 2018. Let's see what the Sun in Aries means for your sign. Aries, the new year always begins with you, and this is your time to step out and be noticed. This is likely the most successful time of the year for you, and you are filled with the proper attitude and enthusiasm to make things happen. If you have been sitting around recently, uncertain what to do next in life, or what steps are necessary to effect positive changes, you may now find yourself spontaneously jumping into action. Do be sure that those actions contain the necessary forethought for success. Taurus, for you, this time period may mark the end of an important life cycle. Closing it out will allow you to come out stronger when the Sun enters your sign in the next 4 weeks. The Sun in Aries is not your time to shine. Rather, to take some things in life easier, go inward and focus on yourself and prepare for the Sun's entrance into Taurus next month. Gemini, your social calendar will be filled to the max now, taking you from gathering to gathering, spending quality time with friends, associates, and groups of like-minded individuals. This placement gives way to the possibility of having some fun, no matter what it is you are doing, and you will enjoy combining work and play and the connections you can make. For the golfers, etc. out there, much can be accomplished over a few rounds while combining business with something you enjoy. Cancer, this is the time of year when your reputation on the job and your career in general come into focus. It can be your time to shine and a good time to deal with authority figures on the job in order to enhance your status in the workplace. With all eyes on you, this is a great month to receive your just accolades. Leo, your sense of adventure is soaring during this 4-week cycle. It may be hard to pin you down to your normal obligations, for you will be seeking to broaden your horizons and go in search of the next big adventure. If a wanderer you must be, do be sure that you leave someone in charge minding the store, or there could be a steep price to pay down the line. Virgo, if Mars in Capricorn has brought all of your bad habits out to play, the Sun in Aries may be just the ticket to help you reel them in and put yourself back in line. This is your time of the year to transform yourself, so use it to become who you want to be and change what you wish to change. Libra, everybody needs somebody sometime, and the next 4 weeks feel that way for you. To feel more complete in all that you think, do, and desire, having someone else there to share these things with makes it more pleasant. You are not in all about me mode, but rather what can we accomplish as a team. Scorpio, for the next 4 weeks, your focus is on a job well done, remembering your daily vitamins and getting in that extra walk each day. This is one of your best times of the year for focusing on your health and the regimens necessary to maintain it. You can learn more now and increase your level of organization in all parts of life. Sagittarius, this is your time of year when you prefer to play, all the while exploring your more creative side. You can garner a great deal of attention now for your creative endeavors, and your sense of showmanship will only further to attract more people. Capricorn, this will be in your career sector, and the next 4 weeks will be your time to shine. Your reputation comes into focus now. Remember, Mercury retrograde is coming up very soon, so if you are hoping to use this time to focus on a new job with better pay, it would be wise to have already had those contacts in place. Do not put your efforts into seeking interviews with new companies, which you may come to regret at a later date. Aquarius, the next 4 weeks can be extremely busy for you, bringing up more chores or errands to handle, more people you must meet with, and overall a need for increased communication. This is not likely to be a season of travel, which takes you far from home. You will be more inclined to play out any necessary trips close to home base. Increased interaction with your siblings is possible now. Pisces, there can be an urge to splurge now, especially on those creature comforts which you may feel good and increase your overall security. Before indulging in something you have been wanting, do first make sure that you can afford it without having second thoughts after the fact. As always, when I was putting the cards down, I found this to be very interesting in the fact that there is this rebirth that's taking place at the time that the sun enters Aries. And this is one of those things, like this year, and I know this is hard to explain because you guys haven't known me forever, but it's been a long time coming. And however it's playing out, this is a significant time period, okay, where you are just being taken from where you felt so unable to figure things out or do anything, or where a situation was out of your control. It's all changing now. It's all happening now. And you're going to watch it. I'm telling you, I've said this how many times. You're going to watch it unfolding over the next few months. It's like once you are released from that prison that you've been in, where you felt trapped by a situation in your life, everything begins to unfold. And it's like it's from this moment forward. Okay. Wow. As I look at this specifically, and I can think how many years ago I saw it, St. Patrick's Day. Okay. Basically, it's like, when those decorations went up, all these changes were starting to take place. And then you have a couple days later, the sun enters Aries at the time of the vernal equinox. Now, where there's this, like, I want to call it like interim period, because we enter some retrogrades and things that are happening as well. And we've had Saturn kind of like in the background, still cleaning something up from when it was in Sagittarius. And that won't be done until we hit the full moon in Sagittarius on May 29th. Because after May, that's it. How many times have you heard me say June? June, June, June. So right now you're working on, balance, taking care of things. This is good. This is a good thing. Also, I see, and I don't think that this is like you giving away your money, but it feels like there are those who are less fortunate. Perhaps a situation around you, maybe you feel bad for somebody, what they're going through, and you're doing your best to lend a hand. And that doesn't mean that you're giving them money. You could be giving your time. You could be giving your advice. Whatever you're bringing to the table represents compassion, practicality, things of that nature, where intuitively you know that your compassion and your kindness will actually really make a difference. So I see this as a very good thing. It's like an extension of you, where you're helping others. May only be one other person, but you're definitely helping because you've learned so much along the way. And you may be asking yourself, if there is something happening at this moment, at the vernal equinox, when the sun enters Aries, what's going on? Where is this taking me? You have a few choices to make along the way, but I think that when you arrive at, let's say, the new moon in December, okay, which again brings us back to Sagittarius, all right, I think that's when you see your hopes and dreams are being fulfilled as far as your identity goes. Like what you've been sending out there over the course of these coming months. I know you can't see my hands moving, but it's all coming back to you, okay? It does happen. So this is really, truly incredible. But as far as for you as an individual, your clarity is amazing. It doesn't matter that when this starts, Mercury's going to go retrograde, okay? Jupiter's retrograde. It's okay. And we're going to have some retrogrades coming up next month before, the sun leaves Aries as well. But I'm telling you, you're doing better. You're feeling stronger. Your stability is there. Like you're more rock solid with your power, with what you do. And I think very thankful. Okay, very thankful as you see different things in life coming to fruition. All right. And it is one of those things where every once in a while you hit a crossroads. You know, you definitely have to make some choices. But whatever's playing out, like from now, I almost want to say until, like the equinox in September. It's the story gets very interesting, you know, and I have to call it the story because it's the story of your life and the things that are taking place and happening. It's just something you maybe dreamt about, because I do see your hopes and dreams here everywhere. But as far as whatever the decisions and the paths that are taken over these next 6 months, yeah, that's what's leading you to your hopes and dreams. That's what's leading you to what you wish for. And it's really a wonderful thing. When you get that far, in in these next 6 months, you're really going to, like, your belief in the universe is definitely going to be restored. So I want to say good for you. You know, there's a lot of where are we at? We're in March, April. You know, I kind of think that before we get out of this March, April, May thing, up before the sun enters Gemini, I think there's a whole coming to terms with things, with what's happening. Don't get me wrong. I think that there's sadness associated with it, but it's for a good reason. Like, where you're headed is a good place, but it feels like there are some sad things from the past that can crop up once in a while, bring a tear to your eye, that kind of thing. But you're just totally flipping everything in life, and you're going after it. You're going after what you want, your hopes and dreams, and you're going to see, and you hear me say this how often, watch how it changes, because it's not an overnight thing. It feels like it is like a 6-month process where it comes with the phases of the moon. All right, because we've been saying that by the time you get to June, between June and September, there's more going on. All right, like the story shifts again. But that's what we have. Every time we change seasons, we change. But there's new beginnings in here. Something is definitely giving you a much more carefree feeling. I don't think that it's like you're 100% there. I think there's a lot to do, to be honest with you. I really do. I think you have a lot to do. There are still things that you want to see change in your life. And, maybe that's the burden that you carry. But you're going to make it happen. Wow. Good relationships are coming. That's interesting. All right, but you're going to consider them very, very carefully. All right, because let's say someone shows up. It could be not challenging, but to you it kind of presents itself as a challenge, whether they're from, the past or the present, and with Mercury retrograde as well. So I think there's careful consideration being taken there. But I'm thinking here, because I see Jupiter, and Jupiter doesn't go direct until July the 10th. So I'm thinking, give it until Jupiter is direct again before you go making any big moves. Because I'm telling you, after September, I don't know why. I don't know why they want to show me this so far in advance. But there's a new chapter there that you just don't even see coming. All right. Wow. It's amazing to me. Okay. I mean, I think I use the word amazing a lot. There has been so much that it's like you're moving into the unknown. And I think it's like you're stepping into it now. You're separating from things still. I have to tell you, because I've heard from so many of you, and you've had a lot happen already, where when it came to like the 5 years that we talked about and everything, you're in a different 5 years, okay? But every single one of you out there has at least one thing, one area where you're like, gosh, why can't I just fix that? Why can't I have that? Why can't I make it happen? Maybe it's dependent upon what someone else does, that type of thing. But intuitively, you just know life is changing, all right? It's very exciting. Whatever's happening, like right as the sun is entering Aries, In spite of sadness, there's, you know, a reason to celebrate. There's new beginnings and there's messages coming. You know, I'm inclined to mention July again. And I want to say, even maybe even possibly the tail end of June. All right, it's a weather thing that's in my head here. But what I have to say about it is that at that time, probably between June 26th and July the 4th. All right, that's about as specific as I can get for you. Something's happening. All right, and you are going to be kicking up your heels. So you see, it's all leading to that moment. And whatever it is, I really feel that it's part of your hopes and dreams. So it could very well be that this happens at the tail end of June, okay? Because I was talking about like a 6 or whatever, like 6 moons. So if we did new to full, da 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 da, you know what I'm saying? And going on, that might bring you to June, because June's always been on our radar. And it's like after the new moon in June. Then you're going to be able to pick and choose. All right. And that's where your new beginning is. So it's a little bit of like, it feels like a little bit of a haul to get there. You're like, oh, I just got to get to that spot. I can see it off in the distance. But it happens. Believe me, it happens. It's like if you were in search of treasure in your life, you're finding it. But you're creating it. You're creating the fulfillment that you desire. I think there's some very positive things coming. And the best way that I can explain that, because, I mean, we know that it doesn't happen for every single person on the planet. You know, the whole planet would be lopsided if that were the case. And it's not like that, because the universe has its way of checks and balances, and there's a lot of karma that is being dispensed between the time, like at the time the sun is entering Aries. I want to say it's like it's kind of rolling along, playing out like that March, April, May, June kind of thing. All right, so you're going to see all the changes as they're happening and hear about them. So the tide is definitely shifting. And I'll tell you what, it has to do with good versus evil. And I think good wins. Give that a little thought. If you watch the news every day, you're going to see it playing out around the time of the equinox. So, yeah, interesting times. Definitely interesting times. I'm telling you, it all shifts. It all starts going the other way. So pay attention, because even the things that you see, it all affects you. Everything that's going on. All right. So when we get to, I'm going to say sometime in April, I'm inclined to say not the new moon, but probably the full moon. And I think that's going beyond where we're talking about here. Okay? But boy, what a change. And then you're kind of, see, that's where it gets interesting there, okay? If I'm not mistaken, I think Easter's around April the 1st. So we're actually, I think this is probably about April itself, the manifestation. But I don't think you see too much of it until the second half, because we have here all these transformative energies coming in. So, you know, this isn't all about the sun being in Aries. We have that second sextile between Jupiter and Pluto. And as I said before, Jupiter is expansion, Pluto's transformation. So it's kind of like kaboom, mid-April. This is the most powerful sextile between the two. And I'm telling you, there's a big shift there. So that's actually before the sun moves on into Taurus. So keep that in mind, because when it does, then you kind of, you might slow up a bit there around that time, whatever that is, the 19th to 20th, somewhere in there. But I'm telling you, that's where there's a change. And what I was starting to bring in is at that point in time, you're trying to manage a couple different things. And I want to see where it is that you're going. See, it's toward a really, really fresh start. And it's not that far off in the distance at that point. I almost think that there's something really special coming in July, which I haven't talked a lot about. but I started mentioning July back a few minutes ago, and on July the 12th, we will have a solar eclipse in Cancer. So I think that's going to be a very positive moment on many people's timelines. So we're really watching this unfold. This is amazing to me, okay? I'm enjoying this as I'm doing it for you. I do think that over these next 8 weeks, which encompasses Sun in Aries, Sun in Taurus, that there's a lot to take care of, okay? And as you work out all the details of everything, and I'm telling you, making sure you get it right, by the time the Sun reaches Gemini, how many times have I said that, right? Late May, okay? Because the stress becomes less and less. The changes keep moving forward. Things keep happening. Look at you. So, it's sometime after that when the Sun has entered Gemini, and my thing would be, I'd have to say, more likely June, getting past that full moon in Sagittarius at the end of the month. Because success, I'm telling you, a major door opens for you, and you're ready. Wow. I mean, there's just, like, what are you going to do? This is about your happiness. So there's a big change here, okay? I think that there is a great deal of relief before June is over. Like, you can put a major issue that was around you to rest and move forward. So this is positive change. It represents big victories for you. And by the time you get there, I wish for once we could just do this and just cover the 4 weeks. But I'll be honest with you, I see so much stuff I have to share. And, this is what happens is when you get there, all right, you're like, wow, what's next? There is so much more coming. Boy, I'll tell you, I do not know what's happening for you at this moment when the Sun enters Aries, but these next 3 months, these next 6 months, the course your life is taking, the change that's coming in, these are absolute victories for you towards your goals. And I think that you're going to realize later just how much the universe guided you toward this new life. Because I think on your own, when you stop and you acknowledge it, you're going to say, I probably wouldn't have gone this way. This probably isn't what, this isn't what I was talking about prior to March, that kind of thing. So this is a big, big difference. But here again, it's like you take your time with it. And I think it all winds up right where it should be, right when it should be. And there's nothing like the timing of the universe. We question it very frequently. It worries us, it causes us to lose sleep. But by the full moon, do we have a full moon in June? That's all I want to say. By the full moon in June, definitely a huge difference. Now, let's talk about Jupiter for a minute. Because Jupiter goes direct 2 days before the solar eclipse in Cancer. All right, and then it leaves shadow. I'm thinking it's the beginning of October. So this is a very interesting time. And I kind of think, like, I see nothing here that indicates to me that you are in any way going backward. And you're doing everything that's presented to you. I don't know if this makes sense. Like, whatever details you have to take care of, you're working on everything that comes your way. However you perceive it, a challenge, a job, something that you have to take care of. And as you take care of all these things, it's like you're being moved along. And you just, like, wind up somewhere else. Trying to find the right words to even explain it is difficult. Because it is just so much better what is coming. And you're way past the hard times and who you've become, because as you enter the Sun in Aries, you know that something that was difficult, that was part of the hard times, I think it's one of those last things that's being dealt with, or you have dealt with it just prior to this. But then comes like the tying it in a bow. Maybe that's what I've been trying to say, like tying it in a bow, taking that part of your life and, shipping it off because you're getting ready for something that doesn't resemble anything like what you've been through. And, you know, that kind of unknown that's out there, that's hard to even comprehend. Maybe sometimes that's why I get a little like, I can't find the words, because I can see it's like, whoa, they're not going to believe when they get this far and they see how much just keeps changing. Because it is. Even with retrogrades and everything else, it may not go as fast. Maybe that's why it takes 6 months, okay? Because you're going to see so many planets retrograde this year. But when you get that far, it's very different. Things by, I'll be honest with you, and I'm not one, I don't want to wish my life away, but I'm very much looking forward to, I want to say, the second half of December. I think it's going to be very positive, and I think that all of these things that we have been talking about forever don't need to be a part of the conversation. Like, we should be able to drop them long before we get there. But, you know, that may not make sense to you now, but I feel that it will somewhere between June and September when you see the things that are happening. So keep doing you, keep spreading the love, and know that you're headed in the right direction. Remember, good versus evil. I want to thank you very much for being here, and I'll see you again real soon. Take care.